Thank you for downloading episode 11 of DiabeticRadio.com. This is a part two of my Cataracts episode. So, as I was saying, I had to surrender total trust in strangers to do the simplest things. I had so many accidents because of the cataracts. I remember one time I ripped my cornea in one of my eyes because late at night I got up to go to the bathroom, and the door was halfway open and I walked right into it. And I had to wind up going to the emergency room and check that out. So it's serious. It was serious, thank God. I mean, I had my surgeries, but it wasn't an easy thing to live with. Eventually, I was totally blind. I couldn't see my computer, I couldn't dial telephone numbers. I couldn't do any of those vital things that people take for granted. The only thing that I could do was to lay back in my bed on my sofa and listen to the TV as I stare, at the ceiling. Not even at the ceiling, because, I couldn't even see that. Sometimes I would just close my eyes because my eyes really started to burn a lot during the last stages, because my eyes was really stressed in trying to focus because the cataracts was so thick. And eventually I became colorblind. Everything was black and white. Actually gray and white, because everything that normally my eyes would interpret as black became gray. So it was really rough for me. I called my insurance company and I basically threatened lawsuit because I went to the New York Eye and Ear. It's supposed to be the specialist place. The insurance paid more money for me to go to have all these checkups than they would be spending for me to have the surgeries on both eyes. I don't understand that, But anyway, when you have the surgery, you don't have them on both eyes right away. That is if you have cataracts in both eyes. They'll do them a week apart. You have to make sure that, you have to get blood tests done before you get the surgery, of course, of any surgery. You have to make sure that your sugars are on point and that everything is good and that you follow the instructions that the doctor tells you. Because if your blood test does not come out right, you're not having that surgery. So make sure that you're on point. But anyway, I basically had to call them and really threaten the insurance company because I really felt that I was going to die, that I was going to have an accident, because, I just don't understand how I was able to walk the streets and not being able to see. And the only thing that I can tell you, it's faith in myself and faith in God. That's the only thing. I look back and I was like, how the hell? I don't talk about it much because, when I talk about it, people always, are in disbelief. But then again, in this day and age, people don't try to do much of anything themselves. Everything is a hookup. Could you do this for me? Could you do that for me? Well, cataracts is the one thing that no one else can deal with for you. I had to deal with cataracts on my own. I was by myself when I had the surgeries. By the way, what they do with cataracts is they use an ultrasound to break up your original, your natural lens that's infected with the cataracts. They insert a knife. They use the ultrasound. They break up your natural lens. They suck out the natural lens, and they implant a permanent lens. So, and let me tell you, it was a very funny feeling being in that waiting room and when I was going through the prep process because I was the youngest one there. Everybody there was very elderly. Some was hooked up to machines. And let me tell you, seeing that was very scary for me. But I've gone through so much with my vision loss that I guess it does get to a point to where you say, screw it. It can't get any worse than this. And I just pray and hope to God that, the surgery was a success, which it was. And thank God, if I didn't tell you that I had cataract surgery, you would never know. When they first took the bandages off, it was like, wow. It was almost like, the best way that I could explain it, it's like, if you have a high definition TV and you watch one of those sci-fi channels like Star Trek or whatever, and you have those bursts of colors, and sometimes you see them and they look so cool that you rewind them. Well, it's kind of like that. I've seen colors that I never saw before in my entire life. And to show you what a dramatic change that was, when I was coming home one day, I decided, I had to buy me some socks, and a few other things. And I took out my money to, pay the girl at the counter. And I was frightened because I never seen money that color before. And I thought it was counterfeit, and I was scared to give her the money. But I had a line of people behind me, and I was kind of embarrassed, so I gave her the money anyway, and I walked out. And I was like, okay, she didn't say anything. Let me run. I can laugh now, but I was scared then, and I was like, okay, it didn't come after me, so I guess, whatever. So I walked down, and I saw this girl, a young girl, eating some food on the steps of the school. And she was eating some broccoli and some other stuff. And I kept staring at the food. And I just never seen colors like that before. And I know this girl thought I was plumb crazy. But little did she know that I got a second chance of life. I had my sight back. I used to go to the supermarket, and I still have problems talking about it without getting emotional, but I'll try not to. I used to go to the supermarket, and I used to just stay in the produce department, because I realized when I look at all of the fruits and vegetables and the beauty of their colors, I just couldn't believe it. God is so good that He would create all these beautiful colors. And people have no idea what it's like and what I've gone through. And you see people and they talk about you. And they talk about you if you wasn't there. And they have no idea what someone goes through. So I was very appreciative, and it was so funny because my vision was so clear that even the dirt looked clean to me, which I found very odd. Now, this experience came from just one eye. I didn't even have the other surgery yet. So I was really excited to have the other surgery. So that was really hard because I tended to stare at a lot of stuff because, each time it just appeared that